Hello students, very good morning to all. So basically today we are going to start the video lecture of this chapter. You can see here measurement of distance and motion. Okay. So basically in your syllabus it is the third chapter. Okay. Previously two chapters we have done. Now this is our third chapter. Okay. So let us start the chapter. But before going to start the chapter, let me tell you that what are the things that we are going to discuss in this chapter. So basically in this chapter we will learn about story of transport. Okay. How far have you traveled? Okay. Standard units of measurements, that means what are the units of measurements and what do you call by standard units of measurement. These are the things. Okay. Correct measurement of length, how do we get the correct measurement of length, measuring the length, okay, of a curved line, okay, and motion. So all the things are there that we are going to discuss in this chapter. So let us start the very introduction part. Okay, let us start with the introduction part. Just have a look. So first of all we are going to start with story of transport. Okay, so what is story of transport? That means how does transport came. So basically in earlier times what will happen, people did not have any means of transport to travel. Okay, so in earlier days people didn't have any means of transport actually, okay, from to travel from one place to another. Now they used to move on foot. Okay, so basically they carried goods either themselves with the help of animals. Okay, so by using this technique they can carry out their goods. Okay, now, when early men saw logs of wood floating on water, so what will happen? Gradually they saw that logs of wood actually floating on water. So basically the idea of making boats stuck in their mind. Okay, so by seeing these things, that logs of logs of woods actually floating on the water. So by seeing this, the idea arises in their mind that basically how to create a boat or how to construct a boat. Okay, so basically they started using boats as means of transport on rivers. Okay, so they use the boats to travel from one place to another in rivers. Okay, now the earliest boats were made of logs of wood, okay, in which a hollow cavity could be made. Okay, that means when we are sitting, a hollow cavity would be made. Later, people learned to make boats by putting together pieces of wood. Okay, so gradually it will just modified the form of this boat. You can say that later what will happen? They just putting pieces of wood one by one or one after another, and they create some kinds of boats. Okay. Now for giving shapes to the boat, they just imitate the shapes of animal living in the water. So they just copy, you can say they just copy the animals which are actually which used to live in the water. Okay, so by seeing them they create the structure. Now you can see here, this is the structure of a log boat. Okay, you can see here. You can see here the hollow space. This space, I am marking here. This space is the hollow space. Okay, and this is made by wood. Okay, so this is the very introduction part of the chapter. I hope it is clear to you. Nothing is there. Very simple, very easy. Okay, so let me rub all these things. Now let us move to the next part. Which is the next part? Just have a look. Okay, now just have a look here. That the invention of wheel brought about a great change in modes of transport. Okay, now the invention of wheel, okay, it will make a great change in modes. Now cart pulled by animals such as you can say horses provide a faster and more efficient means of transport. Okay, so basically we use horse or horses to pull our cart. Okay, now about 300 years ago the invention of steam engine brought about a revolution in transport. All of you have read in many stories that the revolution takes place when we just discovered the steam engine. Okay, now animal power was replaced by engine power. Okay, first of all what we are using cart pulled by animal. Now we just shift to this steam engine which is more efficient. It presented an entirely new, cheap and fast mode of transportation. Okay, Now railway lines were made to run trains, carriages and wagons. Okay, these are all. Now in time the steam engine was replaced by powerful petrol and diesel engines. Later we have discovered that petrol and diesel engines are more efficient or more powerful than the steam engine. Okay. With the invention of petrol and diesel engine, road transport and automobiles came into existence. Okay. So gradually by gradually, time after time, it will increase. Okay. Or we just discovered new things. So what will happen after discovered these things? Our work will be more smooth, okay, or more easy. Now the 20th century, what will happen? You can see here, 20th century saw the development of the aeroplane. Okay, nowadays, if the you can say that place is too far from our place, if we want to go that place which is too far, we use aeroplanes, which takes very less time, which carries passengers as well as goods across the continents in a few hours. Electric trains are there, monorails are there, supersonic aeroplanes, okay, specific of some fastest mode, okay, spacecraft actually the fastest modes of transportations of the latter 20th century. Okay, so these are the introduction part of the chapter, or you can say that these are the history of you can say that how we develop our traveling systems. Okay. Now next thing is that how far have you traveled? The question is that how far have you traveled? So this question tells us that we know different means of transport helps us to move from one place to another. Likewise, in ancient times too, people travel from one place to another. However, the question arises, how did people know how far have they traveled? That means, just give me an example that from your place to our school. Okay, so how far the place is? How did you know? Or how will you know whether you can walk all the way to your school, or you have to take a bus or rickshaw to reach your school? So this is very important thing, that if the distance is very small, then we can walk. But actually something is there in our mind which tells us that if we go to that place, we need to take a bus, or we can walk all the way. So what is the thing? Or how will you say that your school is closer to your home as compared to your friend's home? So what are the things? So students, let us discuss the answers of these questions. Now the answers of these questions, with the answers of these questions, we will enter the main course of the chapter. So let us discuss that. Much the same way, if you are asked what is your height, then it means the length of the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Okay, this is the way to measure our height. All of you are just aware of this. Now generally distance can be seen as the length of a straight line between the 2 points. Okay, so how do we measure a distance? If this is a straight line, okay, this is point A and this is point B. So how do we measure the you can say distance? It is basically the length of the straight line. You can say this is the length. So this length of the straight line between 2 points, but it is not always true at sometimes the path between the 2 points is curved in zigzag form. Now if the path is like this, then it will change the course of definition. Okay, for example, what is the length of your round dining table? So basically round dining table means what? This is our round dining table, it is a curved line. Okay, so we will see this thing later in the chapter, that how to measure a curved line. Okay, now to measure it, you will use a measuring tape. Have you ever thought that how did people measure length when the measuring tape was not in existence? Now this is very important thing, that did you know these things, that nowadays we have the measuring tape, and by using the measuring tape we can easily measure the distance. But what will happen, or what happened actually previous times in ancient days? So let us discuss that thing also, that in ancient days measuring tape was not there. Then how the people measured the distances? To answer these questions, let us understand what exactly we need to do the measure of distance. Okay, so the table is there, an activity is there. What this activity tells? So basically students, this activity tells us, you can see here, measuring the length and breadth of a classroom. Okay, That means this is the classroom. Okay, so I just want to measure, or you just want to measure the length and breadth. So what you have to do, see, one is given, one student is there, Varun. So length of the classroom in footsteps. Okay, that means the length of the classroom is 40 footsteps and breadth of the classroom is also 40 footsteps. So if length and breadth are equal, then we call it as a square. So the classroom is a square classroom. Length is also 40, breadth is also 40. Okay, so similarly you can judge anything. If you are at your room now, so you can measure your room. You can just measure your room by lying this, that the 1 footstep, 2 footstep, 3 footstep. Okay, so by doing this you can measure the length and breadth of your room. Okay, so very easy activity. Okay, very easy one. I hope all of you can easily do this activity. Now one more activity is there. Now what this activity tells? So basically this activity tells students that, just have a look, that here also name of the student is there, length of the table in hand span and breadth of the table in hand span. Hand span means this amount. Okay, this amount. This is one hand span. Okay, so you can measure by using your hands also, that how many hand span is there. Or if I put like this, that if this is my hand, so this is one length from here to this part, this is one length. Okay, then I am going to this, or you can measure like this, this is one part, then this is one part, then this is one part. Okay, so you can do it like this way. So you can feel the table. Okay, or just take an idea from this table, that how ancient days people measure the things. Okay, so from here what we can conclude? We can conclude that the comparison of unknown quantity with some known quantity is called measurement. Okay, so basically what is the definition of measurement? The definition of measurement is that the comparison of an unknown quantity with some known quantity is called measurement, and this is known fixed quantity is called a unit. Very important. What is a unit? The fixed quantity is known as a unit. So let us discuss more about this unit. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me rub this point. Okay. Okay, so just have a look. The result of measurement, or every measurement, is expressed into two parts. What are the two parts? First part is a number and the other part is the unit. So unit is very important, students. You can see here that measuring the width of a table with hand span, what I have discussed, that this is the hand span. You can see here this distance. Okay, this distance is the hand span. If you put your hand like this or like this, whatever. Okay, so this is the hand span. You can see here. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear to you. Now we have discussed that to measure anything, or in every measurement we need two parts. First part is a number and second part is a unit. Okay, for example, in activity 3.1, if we want to find out the length, then it will be 40 lengths. Okay, of foot. Okay, then it will be expressed as 40 foot length. Okay, so you can see here 40 is the number and foot is the unit. Okay, and we are measuring the length. Okay, where 40 is the number and foot is the length. Okay, foot length is the unit selected for the measurement. Okay, so unit is very much important. From the above activities, what did you find? You will be surprised that length of the table is not the same for all of you. Okay, this is because the hand span of you and your friends are not equal. Obviously, if my hand is like this, maybe your hand will be small of mine. Okay, so your hand span will be small. So if I am taking the whole length, maybe if you are taking the same length measuring by your hand span, the length will be different. Okay, so this is because the hand span of you and your friends are not equal. Similarly, you will get the difference in the length and breadth of the classrooms also. So therefore, what we have to do? Therefore, when you tell your measurement using your hand span or length of foot as a unit to others, they will not be able to understand how big the actual length is, because different persons have different hand span. Okay, unless they know the length of your hand span or foot. Okay, therefore some standard units of measurements are needed that remain constant from person to person and place to place. Okay, that means we need something, we need some constant amount which is constant throughout the motion. Okay, that is very important. So students, in the next class we will read about standard units of measurement. Okay, we will take some standard units which will not change person to person or place to place. So students, that's all for today's class. We will meet in our next class. Okay, thank you all.